What's up, y'all? Chris here to give a prediction for this weekend's third fight between Brandon Rios and Mike Alvarado. A fight that I'm looking forward to. You knew it had to be inevitable. It had to happen again based on the way the first two fights went, particularly the rematch. I was surprised they didn't do it right after, but I guess it was maybe for the best. We'll see. We've seen situations like this where guys will have a rematch almost right away, and then they'll have a third fight whiles after, and it could still be a really good fight. Look at Eric Morales versus Marco Antonio Barrera 3. Granted, those guys I don't think were as shop-worn at the time they had their third fight and are much more skilled fighter than these two, but sometimes two guys' styles just perfectly mesh, and with Rios and Alvarado that seems to be the case, and I don't see any difference going on here. As for the fight, since their last fight, the Alvarado won by decision, as soon as that fight was over, I said, and I've said it on numerous occasions since then, I think either on videos, podcasts, wherever, Twitter, I don't even know all I've said it, but that second fight reminded me of Diego Corrales versus Jose Luis Castillo 1, wherein Diego won the fight. Diego won the fight, but he won the battle, so to speak, but he lost the war. Never was the same after that fight, never won another fight. It just took a lot out of him. And I think that's the case with Rios versus Alvarado too. Alvarado won the fight, but man, he took an ass whooping. He sure didn't look like the winner, and he just hasn't looked all that good since. He had the fight against Provodnikov, where Provodnikov beat him down and beat him into submission basically. And he had the fight against Marquez, where granted he had a couple good rounds. He even got a knockdown, but for the most part, Marquez is going to beat him any day, anytime anyway. But still, got beat up in that fight as well. By the end of it, his face was pretty smashed up. So the Rios fight, that rematch, really took something out of him, in my opinion. Granted, it might take something out of Rios as well, though. He got blanked by Pacquiao. Nobody was surprised by that, but he didn't even look good against Diego Chavez. He won the fight by DQ, but he didn't look all that good in that fight either. Now, granted, Chavez, considering he just had a good fight against, a relatively competitive fight against Timothy Bradley, there's no shame in that, but still, he might have lost something in those fights as well. That said, I just think Rios has got more left in the tank than Alvarado does. Plus, Alvarado's always got a lot of shit going on outside the ring. Not good. He had the ditched SUV in the leg. He recently got arrested, I think, for gun possession or something, even though he said it was his homeboys. Either way, it just goes to show that he's not really maybe focused 100% outside of the ring. Just kind of lives a life of turmoil, so to speak. Whereas Rios seems to have his shit more together, which is kind of saying something when he's got his shit more together than the other guy. But I just think it's going to be Alvarado's going to try to box him. He's seen that's going to work against him, but I don't think he's going to be able to keep Rios off him for the majority of the bout. I think Rios is going to be able to get in there and get on him and do some damage to his face. Alvarado's face has really been busted up in the past, and I think more than likely this fight is going to end by stoppage based just on damage done to Alvarado's face. Hopefully, we'll get some good exchanges like we did in the first two fights, but I really just think that Rios is going to take it to him nonstop and going to wear him down and wear him out, so to speak. And this may be the last you see of Alvarado on the big stage. Sad to say, because I don't know what a guy like Alvarado is going to do without boxing, or once his career winds down to an end. I really am worried about where his life's going to go. Somewhat similar to Diego Corrales, unfortunately. Rest in peace. But I do expect a hell of a fight here. But I do expect Brandon Rios to win by stoppage. Anyways, what are you guys' thoughts on this fight? Who do you think's going to win? How? And any other thoughts in general? Link to Twitter and information for you as always. Till next time, I'm out.